So, there's been this meme thrown around the Splatoon community that toxic mist is a drug, and while doing research for another video, I ran into some proof to say that it actually might be. So today, we're going to come to a conclusion on whether or not toxic mist is a drug, and just what exactly toxic mist is made out of. So just so you know, we're never going to learn if Inklings and Octolings are recreationally hitting toxic mist, because obviously, it's a Nintendo game. They're not going to, tell us that. That would be weird. But that doesn't make it impossible to figure out whether or not toxic mist can be considered a drug. But first, we need to establish what class of drug it would be. We can rule out stimulants right off the bat, because what we see in game, toxic mist slows you down. So that leaves us with depressants, painkillers, and hallucinogens. So my plan here is to knock off category by category, so we can fully classify what category of drug that it would be considered if it is a drug. So let's start out with depressants. Depressants can make the user feel relaxed, chilled out, mellow, with possible paradoxical effects such as anxiety, nightmares, and aggression. So how does this match up with toxic mist? Toxic mist definitely slows the inkling or octoling affected by it down, and the longer one stays in toxic mist, the stronger the effects are. Agent 8 describes toxic mist and the toxic mist mem cake by saying it brings sluggish, looming dread. So we already got an extremely tight connection between toxic mist and depressants, but we'll come back to that one in a bit. But for now, let's go on to painkillers. Painkillers can make the user feel a rush of pleasure, put them in a dreamy state, drowsy, and can be lethal and addictive. Toxic mist has some connection to painkillers because of the aroma that it makes that's described as sickly sweet, which could be equivalent to the rush of pleasure that painkillers can provide when taking them. By the way, this is not me condoning drugs. This is not me saying go out and take drugs. I'm talking about the medical effects here, just so everyone knows that. I feel like I should disclaim that. But this falls apart because the mem cake later says that it brings harm. So if we interpret this literally, then this breaks connection to toxic mist to painkillers. But we can see that toxic mist actually in-game shows no damage taken to the inkling or octoling. It won't actually be the thing that splats you. It has to be the person who's trapped you in the toxic mist. But as of right now, I don't think we can label toxic mist a painkiller, but we are going to come back to it. Finally, we've got hallucinogens. The effects of hallucinogens can make you feel detached from your surroundings, mood swings, altered sense of space and time, hallucinations, illusions, and distortions of reality, and feelings of insight, mystical, or religious experiences. My original thinking going into this was that if toxic mist was a drug, then it would definitely be a hallucinogen. But with more research, it doesn't match the description at all. You can kind of make the argument for distortion of reality, but that's only because of the toxic mist has that sweet smell that 8 described earlier. So if toxic mist is any type of drug, then my opinion right now would be that it's a depressant. Before we get to our conclusion and we can label toxic mist a drug or not, and especially a depressant, we need to get a little more info on toxic mist and what exactly it is. Agent 8 describes toxic mist in the toxic mist mem cake as the sickly, sweet aroma spreads. Its stagnant arms bring only harm, along with sluggish, looming dread. And the Splatoon 2 Substance Specials Guide describes it as a bottle containing the bodily fluids of a certain creature suspended in mist form. And finally, the Japanese name, which, if you didn't know, everything in the Japanese version is officially canon unless stated otherwise, the Japanese version's name of toxic mist is poison mist. Now, we can play a little game of connect the dots to find out what animal is creating the toxic mist. We know that all mammals are dead, so a good place to start looking would be fish, since those are the kinds of only animals that survived, so that'd be probably the only place we could look actually. I'm going to start by looking for toxic, sweet smelling fish. And this has left me to find the, oh boy, this is going to be difficult, so I'm going to put it up on screen too. Yongyicthes nebulus and Emoya caneus. These are two types of goby that are said to smell sweet that just so happen to be considered poisonous in Japan. So it looks like we found our culprits here of sweet smelling toxic fish. And to tie this in a little bow, the type of poison that the fish causes is called tetrodotoxin poisoning, which can increase paralysis in the body, thus slowing the person affected down. But to finally answer the question, can toxic mist be classified as a drug? That answer is a solid yes, but not in the way that I thought it was. So my research led me to drugbank.com when I was starting to research tetrodotoxins, where they said that this tetrodotoxin was being researched to treat chronic pain in cancer patients. So it sounds like tetrodotoxin poison is classed as a painkiller. So to conclude today's theory, toxic mist is a painkiller made out of tetrodotoxin poisoning from fish like the Yongyicthes nebulus and the Emoya caneus gobies. And also, you may be wondering, since toxic mist is a drug and especially a painkiller, wouldn't that mean that people affected by it would be getting addicted to it? The answer to that would actually be no, because tetrodotoxins are also used to treat opioid addiction, or at least that's what they're being researched for. So I don't think that this substance is actually addictive. This is honestly the coolest theory that I've ever come up with in my opinion, and definitely the most fun I've had while making a Splatoon theory. Anyways, guys, let me know what you think about this theory. Do you agree with my conclusion? If so, let me know and let me know why. And if you disagree, let me know in the comments. Maybe there's something I missed. But wait a second, did you know that only 22.1% of people who watch my channel are subscribed? I know. That is way too low. So for all of my unsubscribed viewers, I have an offer for you today. If you subscribe today, and today only, there's a slight chance you will receive your own Kensa Splattershot Pro. Yep, if you've ever wanted to feel the thrill of killing people in 2 shots when they've been lightly tapped with ink, then now is your chance, but only if you subscribe today. The odds are low, but never impossible. Alright gamers, I'm heading out. See ya.